All right, so the other reason that I did Deep Blue Sea yesterday was because Deep Blue Sea 2 was coming out today, and yeah, of course, I wanted to knock them both out. So, in case you're wondering why my lighting looks a little different here, my daughter broke my other light today when she was playing in the garage, and she was so sad and so sorry. I legitimately couldn't even semi get upset with her. She was like instantly like, "Daddy," like no, it was really hard to watch, but whatever. So let's get into the movie now. I think I'll probably be the only person on the internet that even has one single positive thing to say about this movie. But you know me, I like to give movies its credit if there's credits due. Now, this film opens with something that is very close to my heart here, and that is a couple fishermen who are out and they are cutting the fins off of sharks and then just leaving the rest of the shark as they float to the bottom of the ocean, all so that they can go and sell their fins for shark fin soup. And this is just something that happens on a regular basis. I mean, thousands and thousands and thousands of sharks are killed per year for this reason. They literally like pull them out of the water, they cut their fins off, and then they just drop them back in the water, and the sharks can't fucking do anything, and they just sink to the bottom and drown. It's horrendous. And yes, this does happen in fucking crazy numbers. So the sharks come and get payback on these guys. And I just love that. Now, I am going to do a spoiler review here, but real quick, before I get into that, this is definitely not going to be for almost anybody. I actually was enjoying the first half of it, which is kind of weird because the first half is more setup and more story and more like, you know, slower paced. And then once the action kicks in is when I started to get bored with it. So the slower parts were much more entertaining to me than the action sequences, which is usually not how it goes. So that says something right there. So yeah, if you're looking anywhere near the quality of the first one, no, this is more of a sci-fi movie, like the channel sci-fi. And the acting is all very, you know, whatever. I wouldn't go out and I think people are much harder on things because it's just so easy to be like, the worst ever. It's not the worst ever. The acting's okay. It is not horrible. I will show you horrible acting. But yeah, this is not going to win people over. This is going to be low 4s, high 3s on IMDb. So yeah. So let's get into the movie itself. Now, spoilers from here on, obviously. But you're probably not going to watch it anyway, so, you know, might as well just keep watching. So yeah, I just love the poetic justice here the sharks get on these fishermen, and they bite the arms and the legs off of them so they can't swim, and they just sink to the bottom. I thought that was fucking fantastic. And that's the way the movie opened. And I was like, all right. Because I had heard everyone be like, this movie's dog shit. It's not even worth a second. It was worth a second. It was worth that opening. I could have shut it off right there and I would have been stoked. Because that was just awesome. I'm sorry. Like that alone. And then we get to see the flying V. They're actually in like attack formation. I thought like Gordon Bombay was going to come out and be like, get 'em ducks. So yeah, it was just a very... I need these guys to die instantly, waiting for them to die, and we get such a satisfying death that they cut the guy's arms and legs off of him and let him sink. So that was fucking fantastic. Then we move into a shark class, which reminded me a lot of the movie Orca the Killer Whale from 1977 that I was talking about in my last review, where we got an educational, informational little, you know, piece of knowledge here that actually is some true stuff and is intriguing and interesting and cool facts to know. you learn a lot of cool things about whales and orca in that classroom scene, and you learn some really cool stuff about sharks in this, and it's all actually true stuff. So I dug that. I dug the attention to detail here, not just a bunch of bullshit. And then we got, some Jurassic Park, the Thing prequel thing going on here where they show up and they're like, we need your expertise. Like, we'll grant your, shit for the next 5 years or whatever. And of course she's like, all right, let's go. And we even got another Jurassic Park kind of thing, like a Jurassic World thing where the guy has the clicker and it's getting his trained killer animals to, deviate from their killing path, like we see with Chris Pratt in Jurassic Park, and he clicks his little thing and he's like, hold on, Blue, you're my boy, Blue. So yeah, something a little bit like that, which, them training these sharks and being able to control them with something, it's an okay idea. I mean, I'm not completely against it. And they use bull sharks in this instead of makos, which is cool because bull sharks are the most aggressive sharks. And we get yet another reason to get a girl into a bikini in this movie, which no complaints as always, but they also go to the extent where she wears a wetsuit throughout the movie, and the wetsuit is zipped up, or well, down to or up to here, so you can see all of her cleavage, and it has no purpose. Like, there's no reason she should be wearing her bathing suit like that other than to show off her boobs. Fine by me, but it's just so silly. And the reason that they're altering these sharks this time is so that they can make a limitless type drug, limitless with Bradley Cooper, where if you take the drug, it makes you smarter. I really like that idea. I like that idea. And the idea that he's doing it because he's genuinely concerned and paranoid that a Terminator / Matrix / 20 other fucking 200, should I say, science fiction movies where robots have become self-aware and are going to make humans obsolete. And Stephen Hawking himself, I mean, he died recently, but he warned us against that. A lot of brilliant scientists have warned us that AI becoming self-aware and being able to learn and think for itself and build other machines, that they really would see us as a threat and try to eliminate us, which I don't think is completely outside of the realms of reality and possibility. So I like that this guy is like trying to he knows this is an inevitable thing in his mind. Like, he sees that the Terminator Judgment Day kind of thing is going to happen, and his way that he's going to prevent this, as opposed to like trying to stop the computers, is to make humans even more evolved than the computers, because we have the capacity to do so in his mind. Yeah, literally. One of the things I had a problem with that, though, is that he's taking this limitless type drug, and we actually get to see like numbers and equations form in front of his head, which is just a silly way to show the audience that like his brain and his synapses are firing and he's getting smarter or whatever. It's just a silly tool, but he doesn't use it for anything in the film. Like, I feel like this little plot device here, this little thing going on, would set up him being a genius and being able to outthink and outsmart the sharks. And so when that was set up, I was like, all right, we're gonna see that. That could be cool. That could be interesting, because the first 30 minutes of this movie or so, I was actually into it. I was like, all right, this isn't bad. This isn't bad. People are just overboard with this. How much they're hating it. And I'm sure they were hating it up until that point too. They probably thought it was all dog shit. But I was actually someone, because as I said, I don't care that it's lower budget, that, there's some shittier effects and the acting isn't all that great. Like, that's not, I don't have to have all those things to still be entertained. So up until that point, I was like, all right. But yeah, they just never utilized that, and it really annoyed me. Um, and then we have an homage to the wet pool kill, Samuel Jackson's wet pool kill here, where the guy comes back and they just save his life, pull him out of the water, give him CPR, coughs up the water, and he's like, "See, I told those sharks they could kiss my ass," and puts his, it's so obvious. As much of an homage as it is to the original, it's almost a slap in the face to the original as well, because this one is blatantly obvious that it's going to happen. And in the first one, it's so shocking because you just don't expect it in the slightest. So not much of an homage, to be honest. But maybe because you saw the first one, but I don't give a shit if you saw the first one or not. You're like, here comes the shark. There it is. Like, it's so damn, like, blatant, but whatever. Then we get this guy who sticks his arm in to take a, a throat culture or whatever. Really? Like, they don't have a tool for that? Really? Come on. You have this billion-dollar medical facility for sharks and this and that, and this guy who has more money than God on the premises, and he's, no expenses spared, and you constantly are testing and doing stuff to these sharks, and you don't have anything. You have like a piece of wood to fucking prop its mouth open, and then you stick your arm in there. Bull fucking shit. Bull shark, bullshit. No way, whatever. That is so stupid. And I thought that was going to be an homage to Skarsgård's, attack. He doesn't die from that, but him getting his arm ripped off right next to the wet pool as they're working on the shark. So, and it's kind of an homage just because it almost happens. The practical effects on the sharks are pretty good. I thought that the practical effects when they're in the in that wet pool, I thought that looked really good. I was like, all right, these don't look bad. And I thought the CGI, maybe because I just watched the first one, I thought it was fucking much superior to the first one. That's not saying much, but I didn't think it was terrible. And there was places where I actually thought it was pretty damn good. When at the very end, when it takes the genius billionaire who doesn't use his genius for anything, when he gets pulled up into the air and chomped and brought back down, I thought that looked pretty damn cool. So there are moments where it actually works damn well. I think a place where a lot of people are just gonna get pure, like, straight lost, like, even if they're in it up until this point, and it's a place where I just roll my eyes, is the baby sharks. Basically like a piranha, and it's too silly. It feels silly. It doesn't work at all, and I'm not sure it could have, regardless of whatever writing or whatever CGI or practicals or anything. I just don't think the baby shark thing would have ever worked. So that was just a bad choice. And let's see. I usually get all over the place. I think I love how the guy's like, you can't go back, they're all dead. And they can clearly, like, clear as day, hear them in there screaming. They're already dead. Don't even go back. You're crazy. What are you doing? And he's like, help, help. And the guy literally walks over around the corner like 2 feet, and he just opens up a grate, and there's 2 of them alive. One of them for like half a second, and he gets bit in half. But the other guy just comes right out. Like, he walks around a corner, he pulls the guy out. 2 seconds later, they're dead. Give up on them. There's no saving them. Help, help, help. No way. There you go. That was so goddamn stupid. I like that the guy's like, can't we get a break? Shit, I'd take half a break. Oh, that was a really fun line. And the shark comes out at them. Another scene that actually looked really good is when the shark gets shot in the mouth with the flares, and it like burns up and it falls in the water, and the flares in the water. I actually thought that all looked really good, CGI wise. But when they cut back to them, the girl and the guy are like back to back, and he says something like hell yeah or something. That was bad. The action in this is just bad outright. Like, I never felt tense. I never cared. I never, like, the first one is very, very relentless and tense and action packed and thrilling. This one has no thrilling moments. The only moment that I thought was decent was when and it's funny that it would happen with the baby sharks, but I thought that was even tenser sort of at all, was when the baby shark started pouring into the shower that the guy had, locked himself in, and then he was just sitting in there like a little mini Shark Tank, and he was just sitting there getting like racked by these guys. I thought that was pretty good. And I thought the effects on the guy being cut in half and being pulled out of the little grate there looked pretty good. Some really terrible CGI though in the kills, like the people's faces were half eaten and whatnot. I like the idea of it. I like that they want to show on-screen gore like that. I really wish they would have done that practically, because gore effects on people's faces or their arms or their wigs never looks good. Like, they can't do that. They could do enhancements maybe a little bit, but practical is always best with people. So that was just a bad choice there. And the fact that the guy has a detonator for the entire building just in like one of these little mini boats that's outside, really? It's just he just opens up the back of it and pulls the thing open, just flips it open, has two keys, puts them in and turns them, and the whole complex is, whole multi-million-dollar complex just blows up. Like, nothing else to it at all. Just two keys, turn them at the same time. I think they're in there for all I fucking know. I'd have to go back and rewatch it, but I'm not going to. But the fact that it's just sitting there, I was like, really? The detonator switch for your freaking, self-destruct thing is just right there out in the open? Wow, this guy's supposed to be paranoid? My fucking ass. And I adore the fact that he blows up the building and that chick is just satisfied, and so is he. Like, she's like, we gotta kill him. We can't let him go. Same thing with the first one. And he's like, he so conveniently has something to just blow them all up right there on the boat. And he does it, and then they're like, hell yeah, all right, let's get out of here. And she's like, yeah. And they just drive off or float off or whatever. And that's it. And then it's just like, yeah, that totally killed him for sure, 100%. Like, let's not even check. Let's not even bother. Like, that's it. And then of course we see at the very end, sequel. Yeah, right. Probably we'll get one. But yeah, they all the babies and the mom all survived like nothing. Like, probably they would. Like, they wouldn't have left the compound fucking forever ago. There wasn't anything keeping them there. That's where I'm lost in this. Like, in the first one, they were trying to get out. In this one, they had the ability to leave pretty much at any moment. The thing was already sinking. They could have got out of there. Like, how did they get out? Like, how did they get in? Doesn't matter. It's just stupid. So this is a shame, because I feel like, it started pretty strong, and I feel like if they could have pulled off some good action and stronger writing in the second half of the film, it would have been an okay sequel. So it's a shame. But yeah, overall, I thought it was pretty bad. And that's a bummer. All right, guys.